Good afternoon, this is news in English from the Syrian Arab Television in Damascus. Syria rejected the resolution of the menstrual meeting of the Arab League Council concerning the situation in Syria. An official source asserted that such resolutions are considered a flagrant intervention in Syria's internal affairs, interfering on Syria's national sovereignty. They also violate Charter of the Arab League. The resolution also contained fabrications that have nothing to do with the reality of the situation. The resolution exposed the plot of conspiracies against Syria and the attempts to invite foreign intervention in Syria's internal affairs. The Arab League ended the mission of the Arab observers simply because their report was incompatible with these conspiracies. The report of the Arab observers exposed the terrorist crimes of the armed gangs supported by such countries. Our people expected the Secretary General of the Arab League to condemn the terrorist crimes which claimed the lives of hundreds of martyrs, both military and civilians. We expected those Arab countries to stop media instigation and to end all kinds of support for these terrorists. The Syrian source asserted that such resolutions would never prevent the Syrian government from continuing its responsibility to protect its citizens and to consolidate security and stability. The Syrian people showed their adherence to national unity and support for the leadership of President Bashar al-Assad and the continuation of implementing the program of comprehensive reform on the basis of national dialogue, political multiplicity, and the new constitution to build the new Syria. Lebanon registered its full reservation against all the items of the decision of the Arab League Council. The Algerian delegation also registered reservation against the 5th and 6th paragraphs, calling for the formation of joint Arab forces to supervise the ceasefire and calling upon the Arab group in the UN to submit a draft resolution to the UN General Assembly as soon as possible, including the Arab Initiative and the rest of the resolutions issued by the Arab League. The final press conference to be held by Hamad bin Jassim and Nabil al-Arabi was also cancelled. Al-Arabi accepted the resignation of General Muhammad al-Dabi, chairman of the Arab observers in Syria, because the observers exposed the existence of armed terrorist gangs. The Arab League Council jumped over this fact and went on to the UN Security Council. The Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov affirmed Russia's rejection of any foreign intervention in Syria's internal affairs. He called for a comprehensive dialogue to find a solution for the Syrian crisis, as he expressed regret for ending the mission of Arab observers in Syria. In joint press conference with the Foreign Minister of the Arab Emirates in Moscow today, Mr. Lavrov said it would be necessary to utilize these principles in other questions concerning the situation in the Middle East. He stressed the necessity of ending all forms of violence in Syria, including the actions of the armed groups. President Bashar al-Assad received a copy of the new draft constitution from the head of the National Committee charged with drafting the new constitution for the Syrian Arab Republic. During a meeting with the committee's members, President al-Assad is to review the draft constitution and refer it to the People's Assembly before putting it to referendum. The committee's members stressed their determination to prepare an integrated formula of constitution that guarantees the dignity of the Syrian citizens and secure their basic rights. The members briefed President al-Assad on the standards and mechanisms they have adopted to reach this end, starting with national principles, transparency, and the purity of the Syrian reality. President al-Assad expressed appreciation of the committee's members' efforts to carry out this national task, calling upon them to shoulder their responsibilities as a committee charged with preparing the draft constitution to explain its articles to the citizens with all possible means, so that the citizen is one to have the final decision to approve the constitution. President al-Assad said that when the new constitution is approved, Syria will have passed the most important stage of laying down the constitutional and legal structure through the reforms and laws that have already been issued to take the country to a new era in cooperation with all spectrums of the Syrian people to achieve what we all aspire for in terms of developing our country to draw a brilliant future for them. Parties Affairs Committee licensed a new party called the Democratic Arab Solidarity Party with its headquarters in Raqqa to raise the number of parties licensed to 5. Interior Minister Muhammad al-Sha'ar, head of the committee, said in a statement that the committee gave the license to the new party after verifying its papers submitted by its founders according to the new party's law. During recent meetings, the committee approved 4 new parties to work. They are the Solidarity, Syrian Democratic, Al-Ansar, and the Democratic Talia. In Homs TV camera toured Al Inshaat quarter and filmed the damage caused by armed terrorist groups which terrified people and targeted public and private institutions. A basement in one of the buildings was used to kidnap innocent people and torture them. And in Hama, security forces detained a number of armed terrorists in Wadi al-Jawz in the governorate. They also confiscated 18 explosive devices weighing between 10 and 20 kilograms, 7 guns, several RPGs, 10 bombs, a military gun, and various types of ammunition, in addition to 2 computers and a considerable quantity of drug pills. Security forces clashed with a terrorist group in Tel Kurdi in Damascus countryside, killing 2 of them, wounding another and arresting 6. During their confrontation, security forces confiscated a Kia car that was used to move weapons and to terrorists. They also confiscated a huge quantity of weapons, including Russian machine guns and pistols. In Daraa countryside, law enforcement forces attacked the den of a terrorist group and arrested a number of terrorists. A factory for manufacturing explosive devices manually was found, in addition to a number of bombs, machine guns, military binoculars, personal computers, RPG launchers, and military uniforms. Members of the Syrian community in Russia and a number of Russian personalities visited the Syrian embassy in Moscow to express denunciation of the 2 terrorist crimes perpetrated against our people in Aleppo. They stressed support for Syria in confronting all the sinister plans being hatched against it. With this, we have reached the end of our news bulletin for today. For more news, log on to our website in English, www.syrianonline.sy. And now over to our economic news after the break with Vani Kanashian.